If robots could vote, would their logical programming allow wealth and popularity to manipulate preposterous presidential elections?
I don't know, Don. But if it was the robot from the Jetsons, Rosie, the sexy little thing with that fat booty, I know that bitch is all about that money.
Put your metal box into overdrive because here we go. This episode is sponsored by comedyschools.com, where you can learn anything from beginning to advanced. Just contact comedyschools.com and tell them the DUM Podcast sent you so you can get our special price. Now, here's a message from Tony.
Write me, Tony Visick, at comedyschools@hotmail.com or call me at 818-571-JOKE. That's 818-571-JOKE. Once again, thanks for visiting. We'll see you soon.
What up, y'all? Welcome back to the DUM Podcast. I am Don Dario.
And I'm Kev The Allstar.
Oh, yeah, Kev The Allstar. We got another great guest, bro.
Amazing guest.
Introduce her today. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for Amanda Cohen.
Woo! Hi, guys. How you doing?
Good. How are you, Amanda?
I'm wicked cool.
Outstanding.
Yeah. Where are you right now? What part of the country?
I am in Los Angeles.
Oh, all right. You're not far.
Where you
I met Amanda at one of the shows in Phoenix, right? Amanda tours all over the place.
Love Phoenix.
Goes through Jesse Ever.
Yep.
Maybe.
Love Jesse.
Yeah, so I just wanted to have you on here. I've seen you doing all kinds of stuff, all cool kinds of stuff over here in LA, doing game show things here and there. What was that? Was that like a game show con or something like that?
Yeah. Well, a friend of mine who I have a friend who works for the Buzzer Network, which is a network that shows game shows. His husband works for the Game Show Network.
Nice.
And so the two of them, mainly my buddy Tony works at the Buzzer Network, decided that June 1st should be National Game Show Day. And last year he got it declared National Game Show Day and then started producing this convention. And he asked for my help because back around the turn of the century, I produced fan conventions for fans of Weird Al. Three. It was awesome. So I was kind of advising him. I gave him the title, Quiz Show Expo. Because they didn't want it to say game show in the title because it was too close to the other network. So Quiz Show Expo, they had about 50 celebrities from various, hosts or guests or people who wrote about game shows. And then I was a volunteer that day and I met amazing people. Oh my gosh, it was really fun.
Who was was it the guy that you did the video with? It was
Oh, that was actually I made a video. I made a TikTok with Ben Glebe. He owns Nowhere Comedy, and I happened to be volunteering when he needed help with his booth. So I was in his booth helping him, with merch and stuff. And I said, I think I need to make a TikTok, and I just started talking about how it would be so nice to meet a celebrity here and maybe work with them. And he kind of edges into the screen and goes, hey, Amanda, you want me to grab you anything for lunch? And I'm like, I'm doing a video. Do you mind? It was fun. It was really fun. So yeah,
it was good. I love that. That was so awesome.
He's an amazing comic and huge in Zoom comedy.
Really?
Yes.
Let's ask another question here. Because I heard one great thing of three great things. Were you able to meet the man himself, Alfred, and or Weird Al Yankovic?
Well, fun fact, at the first convention, which was in 1998, he showed up as a surprise.
What? Those are the best.
Yeah.
Those are the best.
And now he wasn't nobody in 1998 either. You know, he was still, that was like his third or fourth album had come out at that time. I think third.
I'm like, he was still somebody to like.
He was definitely somebody.
Okay, I was like, no, he was still somebody in '98.
He's been somebody, I mean, since 1981 or two, as far as I'm concerned. But and I mean, I had met him before that. I'd met him at concerts. I'd interviewed him for articles and stuff. But his appearance was a total surprise. It was amazing. And there's video of it. If you go around, look on YouTube, there's a video of that moment where something unrelated is happening. We're showing videos that his drummer, Bermuda, who was our official guest of honor, had brought. And the last video is Al saying, gee, I wish I could be there at Alcon. Oh, what the heck, I'm not that busy. And then he runs off camera and then ran into the room in real life, and everybody's mind exploded. It was amazing.
That is so cool. Like, mind blowing, right?
The third one as well. The second one, he was on tour. We had Dr. Demento, which was pretty cool, but he came to the third one. And I run into him now and again around LA.
Nice. See, that's the cool thing about being in LA. You're just around everything all the time. It's so everybody's doing things, and that's kind of is good and bad for comedy here, for doing stand-up, because you know there's a million clubs and it's really fun. But on any given night, you know, tourists can pay $20 and go to see massive stars at a big club. You know, are they going to pay $10 to see nobody they ever heard of? That's a harder sell. Yeah. So
good point.
A lot of club competition.
That's.
I kind of feel like we're seeing that more. You had asked earlier, where are we at? So I'm here in Phoenix. And we're definitely seeing the difference in the influx of, you know, without getting politics, you know, some people say, don't California my Arizona. But regardless of that,
nobody's trying to California your Arizona.
Of course.
I promise.
And they're not. I fully agree with you. But there is definitely more comedy clubs and shows popping up all over the place. So
a lot of people did flee there.
Yes.
You know, they left California to go to Phoenix or Arizona or Texas. They didn't bring California with them.
No, that's definitely not.
And that's exactly goes along with you're not going to California, Arizona.
Yep.
Different laws apply. Politically.
Amanda, did you start doing comedy out in LA?
Oh, that would be suicide. No. Long story short, I started when I was 17. I did it for about 11 or 12 years. And then I quit for a while to do improv. And then I was inspired in 2015 to come back to stand up. And I've been doing it since then. So have I been doing it for 9 years or 20? I don't know.
I would say 20. I think you total them up.
Yeah, I mean, it was a big gap in between. And I came back. I probably kept like 4 lines from my old half-hour set, you know.
But you had the tools, you had the knowledge. It's not.
Yeah, I mean, I came in with some stage presence that they weren't expecting. You know, I got a lot of my stuff now is about, you know, countering the assumptions that are made when people see me in a club. Yeah. Here's a very common experience is I walk into a club, you know, basically looking like this, maybe with makeup, but you know, looking like this. And people think I'm somebody's mom, or, you know, I'm just, you know, going out for little drinkies with the girls or whatever. And, you know, the other comics just either don't notice me or don't talk to me or whatever. And then I go up and do a set and I do well, usually. And then they're like, oh, you're a human. You're a person. We can talk to you. Yeah. So I deal with that every time I'm in a new club. And, you know, I'm used to it. It's just part of my set now. Hi, here's what you're seeing, and here's why you're wrong.
What on 2 separate occasions there. So what brought you into comedy? That first thing, what was like, okay, I'm gonna get on the stage and do comedy, and then the second time after the improv, what was like, okay, I'm gonna go back to doing stand up?
Well, I started when I was 17 because they didn't let me start when I was 16. There was a school cabaret and I had auditioned and I failed the first year because I didn't write anything. The second year I wrote stuff, I made it, and you know, it's like a high school cabaret, not massive, competition, and that did well because it was in front of high school students, and parents immediately went to an open mic, like the next week, and died a painful death, as I deserved to.
Yeah.
But I just kept doing it until I didn't suck. Then I moved to Pittsburgh to go to school, and I kept doing it all while I was in college. And I actually ended up hiring comedians for the college in my senior year. Nice. That was super fun.
Go to school.
Carnegie Mellon. Cool school. I hired people who, based on recommendations from other comics I knew from Pittsburgh who had already moved to LA. Y'all know Shang?
Yeah.
I knew Shang in Pittsburgh 35 years ago.
Wow.
So, yeah. Really? I can tell you some jokes he did that he would be so embarrassed. But he's amazing. But he recommended people. I hired them for the college, and I did other, I did shows here and there. And I had been actually on the road as an MC in the 90s, because you could do that back then.
Yeah.
Because not every town had comedians.
Yeah.
I know.
So yeah, you were emceeing what? I mean,
one-nighters, little one-nighters in hotels or whatever, Tuesday night at the Holiday Inn in DuBois, Pennsylvania, whatever. Right. But all of those places were amazing. As an MC, you'd made $50 and you got a hotel room.
Nice.
Yeah. Now.
Nice. And what year was that?
That was in the 90s.
Oh yeah, $50 and the room.
Yeah, that was like early to mid 90s.
Yeah.
And but right around the time I had started featuring, they got rid of MCs. So the feature would just MC but do more time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And get paid the same, So it was like a lateral move at best, but I did get to work on more stuff. And then when I moved to Chicago to study at Second City, I tried it. Here's what happened. I tried an open mic in Chicago, and it was like not great. And I'm like, well, I've been doing pardon. Am I allowed to swear?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, I've been doing fucking clubs.
It's uncensored.
Okay, good. So yeah, I've been doing clubs with this material. It was working fine. Why am I dying in an open mic? And this was the mid to late 90s when your notebook started coming on stage with you, right? I blame Dana Gould on that. So, but of course I give him credit for bringing me back too.
Thanks.
And I decided I went back to the same open mic the next week, and I brought my notebook and pretended I didn't know my act very well. And I just kind of like, same jokes, just a little bit of hesitation and looking at my notes, and I did great. I'm like, I am not taking this step backwards. It's not worth it.
Why do you think that was? Was it because you're more relaxed?
Pause? You had pauses or what?
I don't know if it was the pauses. Maybe I've been going too quickly. I have no idea. I just knew that, when they thought I didn't know what I was doing, it was funnier for them.
Huh.
But it was literally the same jokes, and they were, they worked better, when I was like looking at the notebook. I didn't really put a lot of thought into it. I just, and also I was kind of noticing trends in comedy at the time that I didn't want to be part of.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff was getting really, just the things I wanted to talk about and the things audiences wanted to hear, very different.
Yeah.
So I just kind of focused on improv for a long time, and I loved it. I learned so much, and I still love it. But in the words of Tina Fey, improv is a loving, welcoming community until you hit age 28.
Then what are you doing here?
Exactly. Well, there's a point at which you're going to play the mom every time, and
okay,
I'm over that. Yeah, it's very hard to have a group with a lot of mixed ages. You see that like in smaller markets, but it like at Second City, you might have an age range of 5 years. It's never going to be, but everyone plays every age. So
yeah, but I think you say you took that break and you did comedy or stand up, and then you did improv, and then you came back and people noticed. I think that probably added to your stage presence, right? Taking improv, and now you're more aware of the entire stage and possibilities.
I haven't had fear on stage in a long time. I mean, I have anxiety about shows not going well, especially when I look out and the situation is not ideal. But I don't get nervous about being on stage. It's, and that could be a level of narcissism. I don't know. But I love being on stage. I love it, and it's where I want to be. And, I have a terrible habit of making myself the center of attention. And when did this turn into therapy? Anywho. Yeah,
Amanda, you're saying that you've done comedy here and there. Have you done stand up in every state
Oh, heck no. No, not even close. One nice thing about doing it from Pittsburgh, though, is that, you're within a 4-hour drive of like 6 states.
Oh, okay.
So when I was living in Pittsburgh, I played, Pennsylvania, Ohio, West Virginia, Wisconsin, Illinois, Maryland, Louisville. That's not a state. Kentucky, I suppose, is what it's called. I got to go to all kinds of places. And, and when I go back to Massachusetts, I get to play, I've played Maine, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island. And then out here, California, Arizona, Nevada, New Mexico, and Colorado, kind of. And that's basically it. So these little clusters of states in places where I live or have lived is where I get to play. I would love to play more states, but not a lot of clubs are hiring this.
Well, not only that, the network that you got from stretching out the East Coast to right here,
it helps. It helps. But I've also pissed people off who are never going to hire me, or I'm not, or maybe I'm just not strong enough to play some of these clubs. The main problem is I don't have the followers or the credits.
What you're looking for now?
Right now, if you don't have 1 million followers on TikTok, it's very hard to get a serious gig. Meanwhile, if you have 4 million followers on TikTok, you'll get hired whether you have an act or not. Yeah. So, that's just where the industry is right now. And it's frustrating, but, I'll do it till I hate doing it. And that hasn't happened yet.
Yeah. Who would you say, like, so far, because, you probably run into awesome, amazing people. Who would you say would be, like, the biggest name that you worked with? Like, actually, we're on the
Jay Leno. I've hosted some shows at Flappers where he was the headliner.
Jay Leno, you said?
I've hosted for Jay Leno a couple of times. Yep.
Oh, that's awesome.
Wow.
Yep, but I'm not putting that on a resume. A lot of people are open for Jay Leno. No, you didn't. You hosted and he was on the show. I've worked with a lot of amazing people, but only one has actually hired me specifically to open, and only then because I was just booked randomly to open with him for one show, and he's asked me to open on a couple of other shows. But everything else is, if you're just randomly put with a headliner, you're not opening for them. You're just booked on the same show.
Right. Yeah. Amanda, let me ask you why you would not put hosted for the Jay Leno show. Is that
because Jay didn't say, Amanda, I want you to host. I don't do a very good Jay Leno.
I got you.
It wasn't his choice. He's not, he doesn't endorse me. I haven't gone, hey Jay, can I use you as a reference? You don't.
Okay.
You shouldn't do that. A lot of people do, and I'm, when I see it listed as a credit, I take it with a grain of salt. Right. Now, half the comics in town have opened with or worked with Jay Leno because he does so many local shows.
I like that.
Yeah.
It does make a difference.
When you would be able to say open for Jay Leno is when you're the feature, the person right before him that brings him up. And
even then,
no. If I'm hearing you right, you're saying they tell the club, this is who's opening for me.
Especially that's what I'm saying. The feature is usually that person. It's usually brought by the headliner most of the time.
Well, they're touring with them.
Yeah, that's
they may be touring, or they may have been chosen in one town or whatever. Right. It doesn't matter. That is, like I said, there's only one comic. Mark Christopher Lawrence has done that because I got booked to open for him somewhere. He's a clean act. He needs a clean feature, and I was clean enough that night that he's booked me on a couple other gigs. Now, when I do those gigs, I will say I have opened for Mark Christopher Lawrence, but so far I have only been booked once where he was the headliner. So
Right.
I'm a stickler.
Yeah.
In the early years, in addition to doing comedy in Pittsburgh, I was also writing about comedians for a couple local papers. So I interviewed like everybody who came through town.
Nice.
So I only became I only started writing about comedians as an excuse to interview them. And, be like, how does comedy work? I wasn't a great interviewer, but I learned a lot. So
you're giving away all our secrets out here, Amanda.
I once heard there's two things you never want to see made, and that's hot dogs and comedy.
for different reasons.
Yeah.
I think a lot more crap goes into comedy than hot dogs.
Probably. A lot more culture.
A lot more pain, a lot more suffering, a lot more self-hatred.
Therapy.
Yeah, things that the FDA doesn't even know about.
Right.
Amanda, when you were growing up, what would you say, like, who were your idols in comedy, or like who?
Oh, George Carlin was always at the top of the list.
Nice.
Love George Carlin. I've seen him I saw him a couple of times in concert, and the last time I saw him, I got to meet him backstage, which was so cool.
What? Where was this?
This was in Pittsburgh, and I had been working with an improv group at the time, and I brought a buddy with me, and we mentioned, oh yeah, we're with this improv group, the Susquehanna Hat Company, and he talks to us, and he's super nice. And then as we're leaving, he goes, "Keep kicking him in the ass," and that's always been my, etched in my heart.
Right.
So that's all you've been doing this whole time, just kicking people.
Kicking them in the ass.
That's our catchphrase for this show. That's what we're calling this show. Kick him in the ass.
Kick him in the ass.
Kick 'em in the ass.
That's AZZ. That way it doesn't get flagged.
Kicking him in the ass.
For AZ, there you go.
So yeah, he was at the top of the list. I also I loved Lenny Bruce, because my parents loved Lenny Bruce, and they bonded over Lenny Bruce. There are Lenny Bruce lines that are still language in my house, and in my home. Nice. We don't all live together there anymore, but yeah, if my mom is asking if I want, anything for dinner, what do you want? A chicklet, a fig Newton, which is a direct quote from the bit about Lime, Ohio. Yeah. Well, my dad still constantly quotes Lenny Bruce.
I like that you said, Amanda,
I can't look at you. Sorry, I have to. I'm closing the chat. Hang on a second. I'm not looking at it. There. I don't have my chat window open.
It's like you had said, what was it? And maybe it's just a different word. I don't know. I've never heard nobody say that, so it sparked to me. But when you said, we were speaking about, you saw George Carlin, what's phenomenally, but you used the term, you saw him in concert.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's because he played, massive theaters.
Okay.
He didn't play clubs. I never saw him in a club.
Right.
I saw him in massive theaters.
Okay.
Yeah, same way I saw Jay Leno in the 80s. I saw him doing a massive concert.
Okay. He's not like Steve Martin where he's going to play, or Adam Sandler where he's playing guitar on there as well, or doing a song, album and comedy.
This is George Carlin.
No, I know. That's why I was thrown. That's why it threw me through a ringer. Wait a second. I know him just for straight comedy.
Yeah, but when I say
the size of the arena is why the word.
Yeah, it's when we record a show now as a comedian, we call it a special, because calling it a concert seems odd when it's not. Usually most comics aren't recording in a big theater.
Right.
But it is a concert performance. I saw Rodney Dangerfield in concert. I saw
one of my favorites.
Yeah, I saw oh God, who else have I freaking seen? But anyway, when you see a big name and it's a theater and all the seats are pointing forward, that's a concert. If I see him in a club, like when I saw, Gilbert Gottfried at the Zanies in Rosemont, it's big, but it's still a show.
I love that.
Not really a concert. I've seen Emo Phillips in clubs and I've seen him in concert. Very different situations. So yeah, I saw George Carlin in concert at least twice that I can remember.
Got it.
The first time when I was 13 in Springfield, and many years later, I found out that Dana Gould was at that same show. He was about 16 or 17 at the time. Both of us had talked a parent into letting us go to see that show.
Yeah, I had to study Dana Gould. I think I heard about him through just looking through comedy, and then I was like, who? So then I studied and I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, he is, in my opinion, he is like next level.
Yeah.
Even when he's not doing the funniest bit, he's probably doing the smartest bit. And I love how he crafts a show. When he does a show that he's getting ready to record, it's got an arc, it's got a beginning, middle, end, and it's still stand up all the way through. And it's and his stories are freaking amazing. And I know I've seen him work on stuff in clubs that never got recorded, but it's just watching him work, watching his material change, taught me a lot about how to write and how not that I've done as much as I should be, but I know the process better from watching him.
Yeah.
Are you really quick? I know we're about to start down, but I do want to ask this question. Are you strictly clean, or is it just per show?
Again, it depends on the venue. If the venue wants a clean act, I can do like a clean half hour.
Okay.
That it might not be dirty, but I go dark. I talk about, being an atheist. I talk about, adult things, not necessarily swearing, but adult things. So, yeah, I do not plug myself as a clean comic, even though I can do clean.
Fair.
That's what I love seeing about Amanda's comedy is that she was explaining it earlier. She has this look. Well, then she goes in there and just like breaks that look. You know what I'm saying? Like she comes out.
That laugh just said it all.
I just got a haircut, so I'm really leaning into my my look right now. But
nice.
Yeah, I'm Superman right now. This my.
Looks at a good curl. You got a good curl going on.
Hey, like my mama told me when I was younger, only the cool people got widow's peaks. You know what I'm saying? I saw that, Amanda. I saw that.
Y'all with your curls, get out of here. Y'all with your hair. Get out of here.
This is when it's bigger, it's called a Jufro.
I've heard it once or twice in my life.
Yeah, that's me. I loved Lily Tomlin, but she wasn't.
Oh yeah.
But I loved her. I loved Joan Rivers. And I love how everyone thinks that she just appeared magically in the 80s, but she didn't.
No.
She
was doing it for years, man. She was doing she was working so much.
Yeah.
She lived the life as a comic. As a comedian that I would.
It was everything. And that's one of the reasons I hated Mrs. Maisel so much, is that she represented no existing comic. First they said, oh, it's based on Jean Carroll. Oh, it's based on, but in the time when she was doing what she did, no woman did what she did.
Right.
So she's a total fantasy.
Yeah. And
every woman comic out there now, they're our least favorite question. Were you inspired by Mrs. Maisel? I once saw Monica Piper, who's been a comedian for like 40 years, right? And they did a Q&A after her show, and some guy stands up and asks Monica Piper, were you inspired by Mrs. Maisel?
Oh, thank God.
And I'm like, I think Mrs. Maisel was inspired by Monica Piper, way more than the other way. Monica was very nice about it. She was like, well, I've been doing comedy since, and
laid down the logistics for them.
Yeah.
Oh man, yep, that's the generation, the news coming in and they're thinking they're creating it, and that's
So
speaking of
there's
that.
nothing I love more than a 23-year-old girl tell me how she's going to rule the universe. I'm like, you know what? Go for it. Just realize that it's not always going to work.
Yeah. What would be your biggest advice for somebody starting off comedy? What would you say to them?
My biggest advice based on my mistakes is don't quit.
There it is.
Also, don't listen to them. Do what you want to do. Do what works for you. Don't do jokes that are, that don't do anything because it's timely or because it's, fashionable. You do your jokes your way. If they don't work, do them somewhere else, and eventually you'll find people who like them.
Woo!
Or you'll end up like me. I mean, that's the best advice I can give, but I also can't say that it's led me to massive success. It's just led to me being happy about my material when it shows up in my brain.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, preferably 18 and above, it's time for the Jiggity Joke Session with the DUM Podcast!
Oh yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we got another Jitty Joke Session ready for you. This time we got 3 comics, like most time, and we're about to get this started with Amanda. Since you are our special guest, you get to go first.
Okay. Let's see. Having to prove to websites that we're not robots is like a verbal diss in the face. But I just respond with my record like 4,279 and oh baby. I have no idea what that means.
You're not alone.
Don, did you write that?
Nice. That was awesome. Good job. Good read. Good
Thank
read.
you.
This is about
Don, is that your joke?
A reading
She
exercise.
says she's asking.
All right.
You want to wait?
you
You
are
got to wait
up,
until
sir.
the end.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe he couldn't hear you. I don't know. All right. Here we go. Oh, wait. My eyes went right to joke 2. Let's skip that one. All right. My mom said she wanted a cheeseburger. So I went out, bought a cheeseburger, bought it to her. Let me start over. I'm not the best reader. My mom said she wanted a cheeseburger. So I went out, bought a cheeseburger, brought it to her. She goes, that was fast. I go, Ma, I was gone an hour. She goes, what took you so long?
So dramatic.
Such is my life.
He was building up to it. He couldn't let that go. It was a build up. Awesome.
No.
Good read, Kev. Heck yeah.
On the second time.
And that joke was by Amanda.
Okay. There we go. There we go.
Based on a true story.
I figured as much.
All right. My turn. My turn.
It is your turn, Doc.
I don't have it ready. There it is. All right. My friend was telling me that his wife accused him of cheating. I asked him, so how did you prove her wrong? He said, I told her, how the hell am I cheating when I don't even get your pussy?
Jesus.
Nice.
God, dog.
Let's talk about emotional cheating.
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about it.
I'm sorry. The joke is what we call problematic.
Problematic.
All right, Amanda, you are up, man. Sorry.
Okay. This is a long one. I've noticed a lot of businesses support we hire felons or We turn jail time into work time. I also support that. Like, cool, they're not lifers, and life should be easier when they get released, right? That was until 5 felons showed up to install my home security system. They did a great job, almost too great. They installed the cameras, alarms, took the wife and kids as payment. Now I have a safe and secure home with the joy of peace and quiet. And just for the record, I say quiet even though the script here says quite.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
I was kind to you.
Good save on the improv.
Even better reading. Like you were reading stuff that should be there. Good job. Good job.
Good Lord.
All
Welcome to
right,
the Dumb Podcast. Without the B.
That's right, because we're dumb. All right, sir, you are up. KevTheAllstar.com.
Dads with unknown moms.
Oh, I like it.
Wait a minute.
Trademark. All right.
That
Trademark.
makes very little sense. Okay.
Oh. Okay. My dad loves watching B.E.T. Or as he calls it, color TV. Huh? Color TV? Get it?
I feel like that joke has probably been done 12 million times. But
Right. It's still funny.
Good
Well, I see
read,
funny in
Kev. Good
Oh,
read.
and my dad also.
I love
All right.
that was handed to me.
All right, my turn.
No.
After watching my cat, the take two. After watching my cat that was in heat, I couldn't remember why my chick was walking around the house with her face down, ass up, purring, clawing for 2 weeks. Then I remembered I put my chick on dick restriction.
So she was in heat.
That sounds like another setup. What's the punchline?
It's missing the punch, I guess.
The punchline is in retreat. Or restriction?
Restriction.
Is a restriction.
The joke is that she ain't getting
That was
it.
a punchline restriction.
And I ain't
Your
either.
punchline was restricted there.
Yep. All right. Amanda, you are up.
Okay. I hate the system so much that I can't pass the driving test. Or the breathalyzer, for that matter.
Nice. Good read.
Good read.
I don't actually drink, so.
Ah. All right, Kev, you are
Hopefully
up,
pass
sir.
the test. Hopefully it's not in your car, but maybe you stopped drinking and that's why.
No, I never drink. I did briefly date a guy who had a breathalyzer to start his car, and then he failed it and couldn't drive.
Was he a
Wow.
comic?
No,
Oh, gonna say.
because I have 2 rules in my life right now. Number 1, I don't date comics.
Bing.
Number 2, I don't date people who aren't comics.
Don't date. In case you missed that.
That was so funny.
Woo.
You're up.
I'm gonna jump right into this third one with that one then. Time is flying, and sadly, important people are not being recognized for their greatness. We cannot forget about the parkour guys when their biggest achievements are jumping and rolling.
Okay, yeah, screw the parkour guy. I mean,
There's also climbing and scrambling and recovering when they break legs.
And breaking bones, yes.
I'm breaking things, exactly.
And folding as if you'd almost think they were doing yoga.
Yep. All right, my turn. Last one. Ready?
No,
Uh,
you asked.
No, if I must.
this week, police in LA seized 75,000 pounds of fireworks. In my neighborhood, that would ruin two parties. Nice.
That's a rough
Good
neighborhood.
one. And that was written by Amanda. Good
Hey,
job, Amanda. I
yo.
like
Thank
that.
you so much. Thank you.
That was good. And it's totally true. I think I thought that was like part of the news the other day. Wasn't they got the biggest bust?
They
Fireworks?
they got 75,000 pounds of illegal fireworks, which they said had a street value of like $3 million. I'm like, I don't think so, but
Yeah,
maybe.
calm down.
But
It was loaded with cocaine.
There's easily $75,000 worth of fireworks on my block for the whole week of July 4th.
Yeah.
Every night. But on July 4th in particular, yeah, it's just explosions from about 4 in the afternoon till 2 in the morning. Just
Fair.
solid. It sounds like a war zone.
Yeah. That's why they add the illegal fireworks
Yes.
to it.
Yes.
Right.
Well, I'm going on tomorrow. No, yeah, tomorrow night. I'm going to go see a drone show.
Oh, what? Where?
Hanson Dam. It's just north of LA, and it's great. It's
Fireworks,
Yeah.
but with drones, right?
well, they're not really fireworks. They're just the drones.
No, it's just drones
they make
flying in
pictures.
patterns.
They make 3D images in the air,
Yeah.
That's so cool.
and it's amazing. Yeah, they're all synchronized drones, and nothing catches on fire, which is the best part.
Yeah.
Until
the state
it
doesn't.
hasn't yet. Until they crash into something.
Hasn't happened yet.
Not yet.
Less likely than literally shooting fire into the air.
Yeah, it's true.
They start fireworks every year, especially the illegal ones. Oh my gosh. I see people setting them off literally in the middle of the street. Not like
Yeah.
a little road in the middle of nowhere. I mean, like the street where you have to get somewhere.
Right.
Yeah.
In
You
your
gotta
neighborhood.
stop while they run out with a piece of explosive, and then you can drive by. Oh,
But
yeah.
and that especially in a neighborhood that just it. Do you have any sense?
They have none. There is
Like any?
no.
Like damn, just go drive like 3 miles somewhere. I'm sure there's a field. You can
Oh
go-
yeah, I know where the field is, but they would get busted so fast if they went there. No, so they just do it in like there's not even backyards in my neighborhood.
Right.
They do it in like the parking area of their building. It's
Oh no, we're completely safe.
Yeah, next to the boiler.
Let's let Timmy light it too. It's his
Gas
first
line.
one.
oh yeah,
It's his 9th birthday. Come on, relax.
Get one finger for every year.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, Amanda, thank you for being here. Thank you.
Oh, wait, I gotta tell you,
You gotta guess the game, man. You
Jokes.
gotta guess who wrote what. Don.
Yeah.
Oh yes,
Slow
I
down.
forget this every time. Jeez, thank you.
It's
Kathy.
okay, Don.
You literally said, "Hey, don't forget that part."
You're all right, Don. We're here. We're here for you, sir.
Ow! All right,
As a
Amanda.
social. Just kidding.
So when you're telling us who you're guessing, right? There are a couple of options here. It could have been written by myself, Don. Could have been written by Kev The Allstar, or it could have been written by a combination of us both writing a joke.
Oh, gee, you work together on some of
We
these?
could. We
Could
could.
have. And
So when you tell us which your guesses on who wrote the joke, can you just give us a brief description of the joke? You don't have to say
Oh, of course, yes, because who remembers that kind of thing?
Yeah.
So the first one, having to prove to websites we're not robots.
Uh,
And the punch, I just respond with my record like 4,279. Oh, baby. I have no idea what it means. So I'm going to go with Kev. Don, did you write that? Did you write that,
That would
Don?
make people not understand what things mean. That was mine. Yeah.
What does it mean?
Huh?
What's 4,279 and oh, baby?
I don't know. I was checking your profile, and you had a post something about that about robots checking.
I did?
Yeah, but you went another way. So I was like, oh, let me give her a joke, and then redo like the end. But I was stuck in like, because to me in my head, every time you do that on the computer and they're asking you, it's like a fight weigh-in. Like you're talking smack to each other, and I don't know. My
And you're
head.
gonna have to find it and share it with her.
So okay,
Just-
I have no idea what
It still doesn't make sense.
I'll send it to you. I'll send it to
websites
you.
that were not robots is like a verbal diss in the face, but I just respond with my record, like, and then you give the number. What is that record?
I don't know. I was stuck in like the fight type of thing, like a verbal diss. Like, hey,
What does that have to do with proving your age?
No, it's proving how many times I beat that stupid robot thing, telling me, you know what I mean? Anyway, it was lost.
Oh, you're giving like a fight record, like when you're up.
Yeah, I get that, but what is that? So are you telling the robot's asking you how old you are, and you're just telling it how many times you've convinced it you're old enough?
No, it's just asking me if I'm a robot or not.
Yeah. And your answer is a number that means very little to me.
Yeah, it would take way too long to explain. That's why I didn't write it down. All right.
Okay. Yeah. It's I
Lost.
think there's a lot of people have used the premise of of websites asking them how old they are. I do not believe this is a punchline for it.
Okay, got it.
Sorry, because
what about number 2?
Number 2, I've noticed a lot of businesses support We Hire Felons, and then some felons installed your security, and they took your wife and kids as payment. Now you have a safe and secure home with the joy of peace and quiet. Yeah, Don, that's got to be you. Oh, shut up! You wrote that one together.
Kev The Allstar. He's a homo.
Oh, that's Kev?
I got that.
Okay, my bad, Kev.
It's
You're
all
the
right.
wordy one. Now I get it. Okay, because that is
It's
the
the wordy
longest
one.
of the jokes I'm looking at.
Yeah, it's wordy.
All right. What about number 3?
No,
Okay,
go ahead. What's some feedback on it? Go ahead.
Oh, go for it.
Feedback?
I don't mind hearing feedback, Don. I like that. That's how we grow.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not seeing the.
It was missing a hard punch.
Yeah.
I couldn't find a punch, and it was wordy, and I was just like.
Well, also it's a hard place to go because it's like, well, yes, I want to support the idea of hiring felons. I don't want to make a joke about people who do that.
Right.
But so your joke took a little turn, and it ended up about them taking the wife and kids. But also, I'm not going to root for the felons who took your wife and kids. It's like, that's cute. Now it's quiet here. So I guess the punchline is not as connected to the setup as I would like it to be.
Right. I the way I kept explaining it to myself was like, this needs to be told on stage. Like,
that would help.
Isn't like a one-liner type of joke.
No, it is definitely not like a strictly set up punch, but
Right.
and I can see that you wrote it as a paragraph and then you just separated it.
Stop that right now.
I totally did that.
So
Yeah,
the script here has the setup punchline is 2 separate bits, and this is clearly one train of thought, and the punchline isn't,
The punchline's like almost the last sentence, but not. It's still missing.
Yeah, it's. I mean, the idea of like, oh yes, I support felons working until they showed up at my house, but then it was fine. It's like, well, wait a minute, again, sticky subject. You don't want to come out against felons unless they're running for office. Which is that's kind of where that joke is going to go, because everyone is now saying, if a felon can literally run for office,
right,
they be allowed to work at the McDonald's,
do any damn thing, right?
Yeah, it's like, in fact, that the White House needs to put up a big sign. We hire felons.
We hire felons. There it is. See, there it is.
See that, but that, again, I couldn't have written that until last week. So, and also you got to be careful, because when you do something political, you might divide your audience. You never know. Yeah. Yeah. If you
what's is going to happen?
No, you're correct. Yeah, I've done shows with literally MAGA hats in the crowd, and they love me. What can I say? So yeah, I would say that setup, which you wrote before, would now be very useful for that punchline, which has presented itself.
Yes. So thank you.
You're welcome. And
Like
the third
I
joke.
don't mind feedback. It's a good
Third joke. Okay, one of these has to be done, so it's got to be this one. I hate the system so much that I can't pass the driving test or the breathalyzer test for that matter.
Ding, 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 ding.
All
ding,
right, I
ding,
got
ding.
one. Well,
At
see,
least
now I
you're
understand your styles.
consistent.
Now I understand your styles better. Yeah. So, Kev, you write confusing things, and John, you write short, confusing things.
I'm trying to
Did I
get
get it
better
right?
at it. Yeah. Good job. What was that? 1 out of 3? That sounds
One
like
out of
One
three.
out of 3. Hey, that's failing, but that's okay.
1 out of 3.
it wasn't all.
I hate the system so much I can't pass this comedy test.
It's so divided. It's confusing.
Awesome, Amanda. Well, thank you for being here. Thank you
for having me, guys. You guys are super fun.
Yes, thank you.
Come back anytime, please. Do you have any thing that you want to promote? Shows, websites?
I got a few things coming up. When does this drop?
Maybe about a week or two.
You're making me do math. Okay, on July 6th, I'm going to be in Moore Park, California, opening for Mark Christopher Lawrence at the High Street Arts Center. On the 12th, I'm in Santa Barbara doing Wasted Potential. On the 13th, I'm doing a show called That's Funny, Nilu. Her name is Nilu. And that's in downtown LA. July 18th, I'm in Canoga Park, Main Kitchen. July 20th, I'm at the Nectar of the Dogs Wine in Simi Valley. July 27th, I am at Summer Fox Brewery in Clovis for Smiley G stand-up. And after that, just go to my website. It's amandacomedy.com. That's www.amandacomedy.com.
Yeah.
Outstanding. Nice lineup for the whole next month. You can see her at all of those venues or follow the .com.
That's right. Kev, what do you got, sir?
Man, just go to the website, kevtheallstar.com, or follow your boy on the page that's gradually getting traction on Instagram at All Stars United LLC. Check it out, or on any social media page, site, whatever. You can find Kev the Allstar.
I forgot my socials. On most of the socials, I'm Amanda Cohen 27. And if you're a Weird Al fan, you know what the 27 is about.
Okay, I was going to say, is there Amanda Cohen 26 and 25 and 24?
Probably. I don't know. There wasn't an Amanda. Amanda Cohen wasn't available. I had to pick a number. Went with 27.
Went with 27. Okay.
Very nice. Very nice.
Sorry, I interrupted your plugs there, Don.
They've heard it.
Do your plugs, Don.
I'm going to do them. It's the same ones. The Patreon. Go check it out. Small subscription. You get episodes that we haven't aired. You get Don Dario's roast. You also get a free comedy buddy. Also go to Lexi's Comedy Club. All right, we're affiliates with her up in Oregon. She's looking for people to go up there and perform. Hit her up, Amanda. Comedyschools.com. If you're looking to take a comedy class, go take a class with Tony. He's an expert, knows what he's talking about. All Stars United LLC, like Kev the Allstar said. And if you're in Phoenix, want to hit up an open mic, we have the Say When open mic at Aguila's Hitaway on Dice Art, just south of Van Buren. Go check out Comedy Cole East, and Justin Kirshner out there. Tell me I said, what up?
And Don, what night is that mic? And
Thank
what
you.
time?
That is Tuesday nights at 9 p.m. West side of Phoenix, baby, in Avondale. Check it out.
Okay, once a week, in case y'all is bad at math like me.
West Side. Am I doing that
Yeah,
right?
Tuesdays are usually just once a week. So thank you all for being here. Thank you all for watching. Stay safe and have fun in life, folks.
Live to laugh and laugh to live, because without laughter, what's the point? Amanda, you've been great. Thank you.
Thanks for
Thank you,
having me.
Amanda.
Have fun.
Peace, y'all.
Peace.